Hey Hawks, this video is designed to help you understand what we call the process, which is our basic classroom management system of interventions that we generally put in place before a referral is written for discipline from basic classroom disruptions. So in order to understand this, you would have already needed to go through our discipline training, which your teacher would have done with you. And it's also listed on our website under Students Code of Conduct and Parents Code of Conduct. It is also in our handbook, which is right here under Students. So this process, as we call it, is meant to keep you from getting in trouble. These interventions are not trouble. They are simply strategies the teachers will use to help keep you from getting to the point where an administrator needs to issue discipline to you. Each teacher, of course, will go through their basic expectations for what to do in the classroom. You've already been given the expectations for hallways and all of that. And all of this is part of our Re-Engage Camp for the 21-22 school year. So let's talk about the classroom management process. So even while knowing what the expectations are, every once in a while we have misbehavior. Hopefully your teachers have done a good job of explaining what the expectations are in the classroom, but unfortunately sometimes we still make poor choices. So what is misbehavior? We define that as something that negatively affects one or more of the following: the teacher's ability to teach, other students' ability to learn, or your own learning. Now, if something you are doing inside of the classroom affects just one of those aspects, then the teacher is going to follow this process. So what happens when you can choose to misbehave in class? Well, the first stage is what we call a verbal warning. Generally, the teacher will say something to you that's good as a warning that what you're doing is disturbing the learning of yourself or others or their ability to teach. And here's some examples of that. We need no talking while the teacher is talking. We don't drum on our desks. We keep our heads up in class. Those are all just simple things that are disturbing the learning environment in the classroom, and the teacher just gives you a simple warning. So if you choose at that point in time to stop doing that behavior, then it's over. There's no punishment handed out. There's no problem. That is your choice. So look, you can also see this on our flowchart. So stage 1 is that verbal warning. And did you choose to correct your behavior? If yes, you're done. So stage 2 is what comes next, the classroom intervention. So let's look at that. So what happens if you choose to continue to misbehave? Well, that classroom intervention means that the teacher tries a strategy to stop the misbehavior. So some examples of this are moving your seat, removing you from group work, a reflection form for you to fill out, or a loss of privilege. These aren't the only examples. These are just some of the most common. Moving the seat is maybe the most common example, where the teacher simply says, "Hey, I need you to move over there." And at this point in time, let me reiterate this, you are still not in trouble. If you just go to the other seat, you're going to be okay, and you stop the talking or drumming or the disrupting class. So that is what they do to help tell you, hey, you need to stop. Now, if you start to argue and make a disruption even more because of them asking you to do this, that's going to be a bigger problem. So that is stage 2. Stage 3, if you still continue to choose to misbehave, so let me note that if they moved your seat and you are perfectly fine after that, they're probably not going to have to go to stage 3, which is the parent contact. Now, I know this is the stage that many of the students fear the most. This is where the teacher informs a parent or guardian of your misbehavior. That could be a telephone call, could be an email, could be a conference that's set up, could be a text, a remind message, whatever. They're going to let your parent know what was going on in class and how they hope that you can correct that behavior. Now, let me note this too, that if your behavior is severe enough in the class at this point in time, you will be removed from class. That is not something a teacher wants to do, but if they have to pick up the phone and call for an administrator to come to the classroom, you will be removed from class right then and there. We try to avoid that because we want to keep you in the classroom. So let's look at this flowchart to see where we're at now. You had the verbal warning, the classroom intervention, and the parent contact. If none of those are helping, then we're going to have to go to stage 4. Now, stage 4, and by the way, if that was all in one day where you went through all of those stages, then you would have been removed from the classroom right there. But what happens if you come back another day and choose to misbehave again? Well, then the teacher is going to ask for some outside intervention, meaning somebody other than the teacher to help you understand what your misbehavior is and help you correct it. So they're going to refer you to another adult to help you learn how to avoid the possible consequences. So here are some examples. They may refer you to a guidance counselor to talk to him or her. Maybe if you're on a team, they're going to refer you to your coach and let your coach talk to you. Or refer you to a mentor if you have a mentor assigned to you within the building. And hopefully one of those people will talk to you about the behavior, help understand why it's happening, and help you come up with solutions to stay out of trouble. Again, let me remind you that if your misbehavior is severe enough, you will be removed from the classroom and you could possibly be written a referral at this point. Now, I'll note this too, because I forgot to mention it earlier. All of this process that we're going through is for those level 1, category 1 offenses. If you were in a category 2 type offense, something physical that was really harmful, then you're not going to get the process. You don't get the process for hitting someone, bullying someone, fighting, that kind of stuff. This is for the lower level offenses that are the disorderly ones. For the most part, we're talking here about disrupting class, sometimes horseplay, could be a refusal to obey, defiance, but the most common one in this case is the disrupting class. That's what this is mostly for. So, on the flowchart, you'll notice that we're all the way down to stage 4, which means you get another chance did you choose to correct your behavior. Now, we're going to hit stage 5 here, which is the office referral. This is what we're trying to avoid throughout this entire process. So what happens if after all of that, you still choose to continue to misbehave? Well, you're written the office referral. So an office referral will be written to an administrator and a consequence will be given out following the code of conduct. I'll note again that if your misbehavior is severe enough, you will be removed from the classroom immediately. If at any point during this process you choose to stop behaving, there will be no more consequences. This is what we're talking about with choices here. So the question I want you to ask yourself when you're in class and you're having trouble with some misbehavior is, which way will you choose? Will you choose to take that intervention and accept it and hopefully learn? Or will you choose to escalate and go to that next stage in the process? So I want you to remember to trust the process. It is there to help keep you from getting into more consequences. Hope everybody's ready to rise this year.